Hey, hopefully I have an interesting one for you today. This is aiXdsp's multi-band gate, but for guitar. I know a lot of you guys, the reason you use this thing is because of snare and especially toms, like getting the cymbal bleed out of your toms. But I think some of you guys know about let me pull it up. Is it Precision Drive? The gate on Precision Drive. In fact, So if you have this thing, I know a lot of you guys have this pedal. It has a gate on it that it doesn't really feel like a gate, right? It sure, it gets rid of your noise, but it doesn't feel like it's chopping you up very much. And let's see if it really shows the gate thing in here. Well, let me go through this. So let's just do. Let me get some guitar noise on here, and let's do a couple things. Let me pick a really noisy. Pull up Helix. And where's my, I think these things are pretty noisy. Let's see.
Exactly. And then you have no other mini map and you can go back and track it exactly into place. Still would take for fucking ever.
So
You can probably get it mapped to like
that's my kick drum mic, believe it or not. That is the this kick drum mic out in the big room there. So that's just getting run through so much gain that's distorting like crazy. So just gonna do some chords. Yeah, listen to all that noise. Those are eights, by the way, so let me tell you, you can't sustain with eights. Now I'm going to do one where I'm going to just kind of chop it. Let's do some bands. So let's do, first of all, put a normal gate on here. And I'm going to put it before Helix. I'm not going to be gating the amp. There's a trick to that you can do with multi-band gate that's even cooler. But before we get there, let's get the very best gate there ever was back in the day, which is regate, and see what happens here. So let's gate this guitar signal, and we're going to be opening it with the clean with the clean guitar. So first of all, so here's the background noise right here. I'm going to set the threshold by looping that. Try to get it above the gate chatter. And I'll tell you what, we'll pre-open this thing because it can do that. We'll put a 1 millisecond tack on so it doesn't jump open. It won't matter that much. I'm going to hold it for a little bit. You can do a lot with the hold. You can actually do a lot on regate because of the, you can do a positive or negative hysteresis. But let's go simple for a little bit here. So we're getting out the noise. So let me take it out of this loop and let it play. Now it's chopped off our signal right there. Let's do some negative hysteresis. So it's going to go 6 decibels more to lower to close it than to open it. So if you have a separate on or off threshold on your noise gate, that's the same kind of thing. A little bit better. And you notice this is a nice smooth close, and we could pull the release out to make it even more. Like, let's say the second. Okay, it's not so bad. That's not going to do for when you're chunky rhythms, of course. You're going to hear it all over the place. Right? You want to really hear that whank. That thing at the end, especially going through a compressor and everything else, that little end noise is going to get so loud. Okay, so that kind of sucks. Maybe I should have played a whole rhythm, but let's look at some of these bends. He just cuts it to pieces. If I take off the hysteresis, like, your bend is history. Right? If I set it any lower, then we'd be hearing the noise. So what are you going to do? So that sucks, but it's okay. We have some tricks. So inside Helix, they actually have a model of that precision drive thingy. And so if I put it here, I think it's Dynamics. I think it's called Horizon Gate. Yeah. Okay, so check this out. So what this really is a 2-band noise gate. And it's not really messing with the low end. The low end's still going to get through, but the high end is going to get chopped up. Let's loop that same section. Already notice the less adjustable section. So I'm going to bypass it. Okay, so I'm going to take it out of the loop. Isn't that beautiful sustain without the noise, right? Let's try this little chug. Let's check out these bends. Sustaining, but there's no noise. What is that? It's nice, right? Okay, well, maybe you don't have Helix. I mean, this works pretty good. There's a couple controls you don't have. You don't have a hold control. You don't have a tach control or a release control. And the other problem with doing it this way, of course, is that if you were to put this after the amp, it's still going to chatter away. Put it after the amp because it doesn't have a side chain. Regate has a side chain. Multiband gate has a side chain. So let's do multiband gate first. Let's put multiband gate first. So let's play the little loop section. So what I'm going to do is we're going to either get rid of this one all the way, or I could get rid of the high one all the way. But we're gonna find where this really objectionable noise is. So I'm going to take the threshold all the way down. Find the really nasty noise. Okay. where if I solo this band? So we can decide where really we want this thing. And if I notice we're not listening to the okay, we're listening to the actual clean guitar, just the computer noise and everything else. So there's something in there. It's small. I could boost it so we could figure out exactly what frequency that is, but let's worry about that afterwards. So bring this threshold up. Doesn't take much. Again, just like Regate. So now let's look at actually, let's give it some look ahead. About the same as Regate. Got a millisecond attack to open it up. And let's close this thing pretty fast for now. And for the mid band, I'm just going to bypass it. Well, actually, this is the low band, mid band, whatever. So here we go. And I could set the threshold the way I did with Regate. So let's do that first, even though we don't really have to. See how the low end's getting through? It's not that nasty highs, right? Listen. Okay, so let's let this like there's no gate there. So let's go to the next part. Ah, right. A little bit better. I know there's a gate. You know there's a gate. But it doesn't sound like that. You could get even more detailed and put all three bands working and do all this crazy complicated stuff, but this is really where it matters. And like, especially if you got like a hissy bass guitar, same thing's going to happen. So it doesn't sound like a gate. And remember, if I take it off, let's listen to what it was. Okay. Okay, so this next part, I want to show you. I can actually make this work just as well after the amp, which is more kind of important. Like in the case of like Helix or something, maybe your digital amps, they may not generate a lot of self noise, but a lot of amps that you're actually going to be recording in the real world, they are putting out a lot of noise, and you have to put the gate after, but you can't because it's just going to get chopped up again. Like if I use that. However, and this is, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. Reaper, I think, came out in 2006. It's 2023 now. That's I don't know, somebody do the math. 10 years, 7 years, 17 years old now. Is that true? Is Reaper 17 years old? Holy crap. I think that might be true. One of the reasons for making Reaper was so we could have some sensible routing. Like any real studio back in the day, you could split a signal and send it into the side chain of something else or itself. And in the case of Reaper, that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to put, you go to the routing window. I'm going to turn 4 track channels on. Now, I think you can do this in Pro Tools. I don't know if I'm almost positive you can't do this in Cubase. There is kind of a workaround. You could use 2 tracks to do it. I'm kind of bummed you can't really send to multiple outputs on an audio plugin in Cubase, which is bizarre. You could do it with instrument plugins, but you can't do it with regular plugins, as far as I can tell. I've had several Cubase experts try it, and it just doesn't work. So, you guys, there's a lot of cool stuff about Cubase. I wish maybe you can ask the people who code your stuff. Let's have some 2000 routing. Like, this isn't like a couple years late. This is like decades late. Come on, guys, get the routing in. That's why I use Reaper. It's a soldering iron, a patch bay, and a screwdriver, just like you'd expect. So anyway, I just made 4 track channels here. We're going to send the inputs to Helix are going to be the regular 1 and 2 inputs. However, 3 and 4 are going to become the noise gate sidechain input. All right. So we're going to do this. Sidechain in 3 and 4. I'm not going to actually do output 3 and 4. So what's going to happen is the guitar amp is going to go into the noise gate's input. The clean guitar signal is going to tell the detector of the noise gate what to do. So let's listen to the sidechain real quick right here and make sure I'm setting this up right. Okay, well, obviously I'm not. Oh, sorry, key listen. There we go. We should be hearing, oh, sorry. Okay, still have to send that out. Oh, why isn't key listen working? I'm doing something wrong here. It's been a little while since I had to do it this way. Okay, 4 track channels. I'm gonna make the, in fact, let's turn regate back on. I'm gonna turn the threshold all the way down. Just turn it pure dry. So we're gonna get 2 in and we're gonna get 4 out. So in 1 and 2 are gonna go out 3 and 4. This should work. Sorry, I should have done this a different way, but okay. So we're hearing the clean guitar. This is the sidechain signal. Let me see if I can turn off the 3 and 4 out here. Mess this up. Okay. So what we're listening to, yeah, I forgot to split the signal at the beginning. What we're hearing is the sidechain, which is the clean guitar. It's without Helix on it or anything. However, what the noise gate is gating is actually the amplifier. So now notice the noise gate is after Helix, but it's being controlled by the clean guitar. So this signal, the signal that looks like a snare drum pretty much, you know, I mean, it's got a big attack on it, is what's going to open that gate. If not, look at what opens the gate. Just a block. Yeah, that's a block. That's what amps are, right? When you distort the hell out of them, they're just blobs. Okay, so now turn the sidechain back on. Oops, sorry. Sidechain on, key listen off. So we're probably going to have to set this a little bit so that we can maybe change the release. At least we can actually gate the output of the amp. So we might have to set it a little bit different, but you can see how we can gate the output here. Let's try a slight bit of hysteresis. Well, he's got this factory preset for 20. I think that's probably going to be too much. Let's see. Might have to change the hold, might have to change the release. Let's do this again, where I want to put this on the front before, make sure I still have the right settings. Actually, I'm sending it to itself as a side channel. I need to do that. So let's set this again. I'll put it back in the output. So there's a lot of finickiness to get it after an amp, but you can do it if you work at it enough. Let's see. It's these lead notes that are gonna be tricky, but I think we can actually do it by let me get the threshold. Oops. So let's see just how bad this is going to chatter. Could do with some more hysteresis, but let's see just how. Before it gets into the hiss, let me actually, I'm going to loop a section of that and see how bad it is. It's really tricky to do after the amp, but it's possible. Okay, so see, this is actually well above it. Interesting. So let me take it down until it hisses. Doesn't need much at all, does it? Let's try that. See now we're hearing the, let me get rid of this. You could really fine tune that if you really needed to. Let's let me take the hold down pretty low. I'm gonna make this thing happen really fast. Could probably bring the threshold up a little bit. You are hearing that wheeze. It's just see how low that threshold is. Bring it up a little bit. I'm gonna bring the hysteresis back in. I can't go that far because it's gonna start chattering, I would think. It's not that bad.
Is there a way that I have like a Google Drive file that I just want to play on the speakers, but no one's signed into the Google thing? I just don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not sure aside from that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, you might have to sign in.